Okay, for a few moments today, as I said in the first one, we're going to be we looked at the basic kit that you needed, basically a knife, some kind of a safety glove to put on your hand that you hold your workpiece in, and today we're going to look at the basic cuts that we're doing. So my son-in-law just came, and he's part of the woodcarvers club as well. Here are some of the things that we carve on. Basically, this is basswood, all of it. This has been split down the back so that you can actually get two carvings out of one 2x2 piece. This is I believe it's a little over an inch and a quarter, possibly. It's 5/4. In other words, an inch and a quarter in width. So it's an inch and a quarter, inch and a quarter, inch and a quarter, all the way around. Good for making caricatures. This is pine. You don't want to use something with a bunch of knots in them. But any place where it's clear, got some good grain, you can use pine. Pine cuts very well. As you can see, it'll take off great big chunks. You can cut quite a bit off on that. So let's look at some of the basic cuts, the 4 basic cuts that you will be using for your beginning carving. This little guy, he is made from using one form or the other of these 4 little cuts. This bigger guy, he's all the same 4 cuts basically you can use to make him. And we'll deal with some of those cuts at this point. I'll use this piece of pine that we have here, and it'll go well. The first cut is when you're taking off a good number of inches of wood, quite a bit of wood. You don't want to take your knife and just be flashing your knife all over the place and your arm all over and waving it. That's going to get you a good invitation to stay away from other people when you're carving. It's dangerous. You're not in control of the knife. But to get rid of a lot of wood quickly, we have what's known as a push cut. The fingers are below the piece. My thumb is against the back of the knife, and we just push it into the wood, and we can take off quite a bit of wood very quickly that way. And that's a push cut that you just push on the back of it, controls it, gives you a couple points. You got this thumb is in connection with the wood, the blade is in connection with the wood, this is in connection with your other blade, and so you've got many points of contact in that respect. So there's a push cut. You can scoop with it, you can make a scooping cut with it that way. Your arm, but the thing is, your arm isn't going all over the place. It's kept confined right in front of you. And you can take some big chunks out of there, as you can see by the chips that are falling from that. The next cut that is oftentimes used and is quite necessary, you don't want to slip while you're carving and slice off the nose of your character you're carving, or slice off an ear, or slice off a portion that you don't want to remove. So we have what's known as a stop cut. And that is simply we cut down, and a straight down cut like that, and then we take and cut into that and remove what's there, and it makes a stop, so that we don't take all that other off as we would if we were just pushing on it. So a stop cut is good. You don't have to make it all in one shot. Just cut in a little bit, cut down to it, Go back and forth. You can make quite a little notch there with it. And that stop cut keeps you from ruining everything. Another one that we have is a pull cut. That's why some people put a protection on this thumb of their dominant hand. But the main thing is to put your thumb below where you're cutting and you're pulling towards you. You're going to pull this way and keep your thumb below it, so when it comes off, and it will, it goes above your thumb, not into your thumb this way. Because even though you might say, well, that my thumb's going to stop it. Well, it might, but it also may stop it after it's cut in an 1/8 of an inch or so. You don't want to do that. You want to keep your thumb below the line of travel of your blade so that you don't cut yourself. And first of all, it ruin a piece because you get blood all over the piece you're working on. But that's a pull cut. And this is a push cut. You can push on the blade or you can push on the back of your other thumb, either way. So that's a push cut, that's the stop cut, this was the pull cut. Okay, that's 3 different cuts, and we use them quite frequently in these things. The only other one that we have would be a V-cut. You can do it on edges like this. You come in from an angle and you cut in, and then you cut the other direction to make definition in a face maybe. Or you might do it on the flat surface of the wood. You may do it by cutting a line like so, about, well, people say 45 degrees, but it doesn't really matter what it is. And then you come back and you cut from the other direction and you make a V-cut, taking that excess wood out. And that's a incising cut or a V-cut. I guess you could call it a number of different things. Some people, especially people that are doing relief carving, will do this. They'll outline whatever it is that they want to emphasize in their carving. They'll outline it, and then they come in from the angle and they cut out the excess. So you can get a good V-cut, and it's very safe. You might think it's not, but you're in contact with the wood in a couple places. You've shortened up on your blade, and you can take out a pretty good size V of wood here in 1 or 2 swipes. Now if I use a smaller one, I don't have to get my hand up on the blade. I can do that V-cut with a little bit more control, probably. Go like this and bring it around. Come back this way. We have a farmer that is next door, and he's harrowing his cornfield, getting ready to plant. So that is the noise you hear in the background. But this will give you an idea of some of the cuts that you can be making. Well, there's 4 basic cuts that we use. There are other cuts. Sometimes we want to take off quite a bit of wood. We will take and lock our elbows down next to our body, and holding on to the part, we'll pull it this way. It can't get to us, but it doesn't. It's different than taking it and flicking it off towards your neighbor. and causing him anxiety that way, but it keeps it confined this way. And you can take quite a bit off a piece of wood with this, I guess you would say a scissors cut of some sort. It's your arms are working together in this way to remove quite a bit of wood. So there's an extra cut that we use once in a while, but the push cut, combine that with a stop cut. It defines the wood that you're removing very nicely. And then a pull cut to pull it off. Keep your thumb down low below it. And then, of course, the incising cut, or the V cut. That friendly mosquito here tonight. And that makes a very nice V cut in here. Anyway, those 4 cuts are basically all that we use in most of our carvings. One form or another, we use those, and you can. Pine is very easy to carve. It comes out quite well, and you can see some of the things I've done with it here, some of the chips that we've made as well. I hope that encourages you to try and find a chance to come to our club and join us if you're close enough to Plattsburgh area, and we'll be glad to go over some of this stuff with you and get you started in the right way. And we'll do a few more of these particular videos, how-to videos. I'll try to do a little face, perhaps using one of these 1.25 inch, 5/4 size pieces. They're about, I think they're about 3.5, 4 inches long, 4 inches probably, 4.5 inches. And we'll make a little man out of him the next time, and show you how the steps to producing a caricature of some form go.